So the Twitch challenge. All right, before I get into the Twitch challenge, I'll start by saying 2020 has been a very interesting year for real industry. Um, Nothing about what we do is the same as it was last year. Last year and all the years leading up to last year, since 2014, we've been doing design challenges on college campuses in partnership with universities and bringing corporations to those college campuses to um, uh, do hands-on learning and give students real experiences. And we've had to redesign all of that, right? So an hour of mentorship, make it till you make it, all of these challenges are new. And in a sense, we're doing them some in partnership with companies like Spotify. We're so excited to have them involved and be with us, Descript as well. And they presented their tools and we were able to utilize them. And then others we did because we saw them as interesting, sort of game changing in some respects. TikTok is one of those, right? And we're not experts in TikTok. We're not even experts in Twitch, but we know that these are tools that are changing the way we consume information, the way we share information, the way we market products and services, the way we might, if we're musicians, the way we might show off our musical talents and build a fan base. But we're not experts in that regard. And we actually really have no relationship with Twitch, but that didn't stop us. And so we said, Twitch is going to be one of our challenges. And in fact, I have 3 gamers in my house, 18, 14, and 12. Simeon's a gamer. Tara has friends who are gamers. We all appreciate the fact that Twitch has been a major force in the gaming industry for gamers who like to stream, right? Who like to show off their gaming prowess. And they have followers and they amass followers. And Twitch, as a company, has been making moves to get into other spaces. And it presents an interesting platform to do that. When you compare it to, say, YouTube, where YouTube is so large now and is so, in a sense, compartmentalized. And Simeon is going to tell us a lot about those compartmentalized places in YouTube on Monday, because next week is the YouTube challenge. But you have YouTube TV, you have YouTube Go, you have YouTube Kids, you have all these different places. It's not like the For You page on TikTok, where you just like get everything that anyone's ever published and you get to discover great new artists or thinkers or storytellers. So in a sense, Twitch represented that to us. And we knew it was a risk, sort of like playing in the Twitch space, but we didn't realize just how much of a risk it was until on Monday we had maybe like 5 students show up for the Twitch challenge. And here we are on Friday, and 1 student out of those 5 took us up on the challenge of doing the Twitch challenge. And so that person is Johnny Bean, who we've just admitted from the waiting room. And Simeon and Johnny Bean are going to tell you a little bit about how the Twitch challenge went this week. Now, Johnny Bean is no stranger to live streaming. Johnny live streams every week, in fact, multiple times a week with his rock music show. He's told us about that multiple times. And so I'm really interested in hearing from Simeon and Johnny on how this week's live stream went, and also just generally how it compares. And I don't see this as a success or failure. I see this as an opportunity to learn what is the value proposition of Twitch, and whether it's going to impact us in any way as musicians and people in the entertainment industry, people in the media industry. And so with that, I'm going to hand it over to my colleagues, Simeon and Johnny Bean, to find out more about how this week went for you. And by the way, when we are done with that part of the segment, we're going to apply all our thinking to some resume work. And we'll tell you more about that in just a minute. Okay, take it away, Simeon.
Thanks, Humera. So yeah, definitely this week, it was a challenge that when we sort of came up with it, like Humira said, these are tools that may be new to many people, but definitely in the time of COVID and the time of 2020 and going forward, um, that we see a lot of not only creatives but educators using these platforms to educate students and be able to connect with different other people. So Johnny's a great example of somebody who uses YouTube to live stream, but transition into Twitch. And sort of being there during that live stream, it was sort of interesting the conversation you had. And if you could sort of explain like that process of transitioning from getting your followers from YouTube that you live stream on regularly to Twitch, if you could just talk about that and how that process felt. I think you did in your car on your phone. So if you could talk about that process and just uh, let us know how that felt.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm late. I clicked on the link and had to restart.
it's okay.
Uh, yeah. I mean, basically, I went live on Twitch. Yeah, from my car a couple days ago, and it was it was interesting. Um, like you were saying, yeah, I've been live on YouTube for years. Like I've got a show tonight actually and tomorrow night, like all the time. I'm doing this type of thing, and Twitch is very exciting because there's there's a much bigger, I guess, like a younger audience over there than there is on YouTube, and it's almost like anytime like the older, the when, if grandma makes an account, oh, it's like it's time to leave. That's kind of what I see with a lot of a lot of younger people. And what I talk about mainly is rock music. Uh, I review stuff. I do interviews. I do guitar stuff, guitar lessons, and it's been great on YouTube. Thing is, with Twitch was mainly known for video gaming for a long time, but now you can pretty much do anything over there. Well, almost anything. Um, so there's a lot of there's a section called just chatting, where people just sit there and just talk to the camera. You talk to the people that watch your stream, and that's basically what I did the other day. I went live. I was only going to do half an hour. I ended up doing an hour because the more you live stream on Twitch, the closer, like the more time you put in, the closer you get to being like a partner or an affiliate, and the closer you get to being able to monetize your channel over there. So so yeah, I was live from my car for just, on my phone, just for like an hour. Just basically I did a show talking about basically just how to do a show, what you do, ideas to talk about. Um I don't know. I mean, Simeon, yeah, you were there, right?
Yeah.
You were in the chat, and you saw other people jumped into the chat, and there was people asking me questions, and so you kind of saw what it's kind of like.
Yeah.
Um, I really don't have a big audience on Twitch yet. On YouTube, I'm just under 7,000 subscribers, so I've got more people over there. Like if I go live instantly, like 30 people hop in, and it's much easier to start a conversation. You know, um, but so I'm still really new to Twitch. I'm still learning about it, but I think it's a great place, and I'm trying to get my audience, which is older, over to places like Twitch because there's so much more. Actually, there's, especially for what I do, talking about music and stuff. There's so much more that I can do on Twitch that I can't do on YouTube. I can actually play, a lot of music over on Twitch that I can't play on YouTube because of copyright. So right now that's kind of a good thing. um but like I said, I've got much more invested in YouTube, so I can take more chances on Twitch, right now at least. um
So that seems to be kind of like TikTok. TikTok is will allow you to use more current music, and you won't be stopped for copyright.
yeah, yeah,
Which is allowing you to appreciate music and play it. And and not be and not put the kibosh on that. Um, what are some other value propositions that you have as a streamer? Is the level of monetization different? Can you, in other words, can you make more money? Is it a lower threshold? And honestly, I don't have a sense for scale. Like, I'm going to ask you a personal question. You can choose not to answer it if you don't want to. But do you, um, do you make a living on your YouTube monetization? Can you see ultimately making a living on this collection of revenue streams from YouTube to Twitch to TikTok? Is that the goal?
That's that's definitely that's the goal. And no, I don't. Right now at least, but the more you put into it, the more time you invest into it, the more the more you can get other people that like what you're doing to follow you and basically, support what you do. Um, the better. Um, yeah, on YouTube, YouTube is owned by Google. So any super chats, anything you make from YouTube, Google takes. Google gets, a good chunk of that. The thing is, though, you can incorporate other things into it, like PayPal. You can have anybody can have basically a public PayPal address, and anybody that wants to support you can do that. There's all kinds of cool little uh, things, like I was talking about Streamlabs OBS, which that's how you go live over any, like, if you want to have like other people in your streams, or if you want to stream yourself video gaming or whatever, you have to use some sort of OBS. And this one particular one called Streamlabs, they have really cool alerts where you can basically have somebody can donate, $5, and it'll read, a computer voice will read, what they say in the chat over your stream.
Right.
And so it can get pretty fun. And of course, the bigger your audience gets, the more people want the attention. That it's all about attention in the chat. Everybody wants to be noticed. So that's why they invented super chats on YouTube, where if somebody donates, it highlights their comment in the chat. It becomes like a bright color. There's like emojis, especially emojis, that they can use. But the text to speech feature is actually pretty cool. And yeah, I wanted to demonstrate some of that on when I did my stream the other day, but I have my Streamlabs associated with my main YouTube account, and you can only have it with one account, so I couldn't transfer it over to my Twitch account. So otherwise, I would have done it from here, and there would have been all kinds of cool, alerts and stuff. But
So
maybe.
for
Mm-hmm.
oh, I just wanted to bring some folks who weren't at our Monday session. On Monday, we talked about how, as a platform that began in the gaming community, that PayPal link, the donate here link, is a really popular feature, and the interaction between a fan base and a person who's streaming is really iconic of Twitch, where they've really taken it to the next level. You can have your fans, you know, donate money and chat at you and like send you messages that are spoken to you and wake you up from a sound sleep, or people walking around with a speaker in a store and they're getting messages from their Twitch fan base. It's actually just quite a very interesting phenomenon that's unlike any other platform that I've seen in that way, and I'm just not sure how mainstream that part of it will become. But what I'm going to do is actually pause there and see if anyone the in the Zoom has any questions for Johnny or Simeon about this week's Twitch challenge.
I do have one question. You mentioned that the same copyright issues don't apply to Twitch that apply to let's say YouTube. Any fears, concerns that as Twitch gets larger and so forth, that the copyright laws will catch up with them as well too?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, you would think, you would think it would. I think eventually things, I think eventually you'll be able to play anything anywhere because, well, actually on YouTube, the thing is with YouTube, like if you play music, one of two things can happen. Either an Amazon link will appear in your description, and they'll allow the music in there, but they put a direct link to being able to buy the music, you know. And the thing is, YouTube is mainly run by bots. There really isn't much human. Uh, what do you call it? Um, huh?
Interaction.
Interaction, yeah, yeah, over there as far as the YouTube side. So a lot of videos can get flagged for like the wrong reasons and whatever. But that's something I've noticed though. I did some streams on Twitch probably a few weeks ago or a month ago or something, and I kind of did a test and I was playing like commercial music just to see what would happen. Some of it got muted, it would mute the stuff. Some of it didn't. Um, but yeah,
The other thing about YouTube is that you're creating content that doesn't perish, right? It's recorded and it stays there unless the user takes it down. But generally speaking,
hmm
they tends not to take it down. Whereas in Twitch, everything perishes after 2 days,
yeah,
and it's automatic default perishing in 2 days. A little like Snapchat in that sense, where it vanishes, but not really. It's 2 days. It's a little bit more TV-like in that sense, unless you take an extra step of uh, copying and pasting and like basically archiving the content that you created, which I guess most people don't do on Twitch, unless maybe you're someone who wants to create a channel and like have a whole archive of past content. But most people are generally live streaming. So it's very possible how that copywriting could catch up to them. But if you're simply live streaming, how can you prevent what's playing in the background? I don't know what the line is there,
that's
right?
that's another trick. If you're a live streamer, if you know what you're doing, you know all the tricks, you know what's going on. Like last January, I was with a friend of mine. We were walking up and down is it Hollywood Boulevard, or right there where the Chinese theater is and Jimmy Kimmel and all that. And we did a stream and we were just walking around talking to people and whatever. And I did notice, like months later, we went into the store and we were like looking at t-shirts and stuff, and a couple of the songs that were playing in the background finally caught up to that video. Like YouTube finally found it and muted those segments, you know.
Yeah, yeah. For many songs, I'm not asked to do anything. Even just playing a Spotify song at the start of this Zoom meeting and then putting it up on YouTube so that the students can access it um, for challenge purposes. Curtis Mayfield, September, flagged every time. But a bunch of other songs, not so much. So I think it really depends on who has ownership rights and what they'll allow and not allow. And I'm sure YouTube just like puts that into their algorithm, and either
hmm
either you're going to get on the flag list or you're not.
yeah, but also that can happen years later. Like I had a video from 13 years ago that got flagged for a song just recently, and the video is from 13 years ago.
Right.
You
So
know,
maybe a policy shift by the company that owns rights to that music, or the company that does the licensing, those micro licensing
the
payments.
licensing, and
Right.
it also it also depends on how long your video is and how deep into the video that the music might be. Anything within the first 30 seconds will definitely get picked up. Something maybe 2 hours into like a 4-hour stream, it might take a bit longer to get found, but eventually, depending on how well you can hear it in the video, you know,
Right.
like I did notice one of these videos did get blocked. I saw it on YouTube. I went to look at it and it said blocked because of copyright from.
Oh, interesting. We didn't realize that users get to see it. We have the ability to mute that song, and then we just take the music out and put it on up there. But great question, Hal. Thank you for asking that. Any other questions about Twitch? I'm especially curious about the student perspective. Speaking frankly, what was the barrier to like doing a Twitch live stream?
Are you asking me?
Oh no, just the other
Or,
students.
oh,
You have no barriers to doing live streaming.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
But for some of the other students, right, it wasn't hard creating the video on LinkedIn, for instance. It wasn't hard doing a couple of TikToks a day on TikTok. It wasn't hard doing the podcast. It wasn't even hard doing a Twitch live stream. But I wonder I have my theories as to why you wouldn't want to do it. But I want to hear it from you. I don't want to put words in your mouth as to why Twitch, why it just did not seem compelling. And it's totally, there's no right answer here. So any answer goes. I just want to hear from really any student who didn't do the Twitch challenge.
I think for me, it's like a whole vulnerability thing with doing live. Like, even if I do a live TikTok, I look at the TikTok and I say, well, that looks trash. And I don't, and I can make a new one. It only takes a few minutes. But once you get onto live, you really have to be comfortable speaking and knowing what you're saying for 30 minutes. You can't just edit it out or cut that section out.
Oh, really good point. Really good point.
Hi.
Hi.
For me, honestly, it was scary because it felt like it would be time consuming. Like I would have to have everything planned because it's not a 2 minute video. It's not something I can do on the go. I have to have it prepared. And I didn't feel like I had the time to do it. So I preferred not to start something that I can't finish.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess there's a certain amount of confidence in improvisation, in your abilities to improv that would be needed to do that, and a fair amount of planning in advance if you aren't comfortable with just rolling with it. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, and it can be scary being on one side, being on the side of a camera and seeing names in a chat and not knowing like who is that? Like you never, I've been doing this long enough to where I know, how to, like I just know what to do. And like, well, let's say at the end of the stream I did the other day, somebody jumped in at the end and I thought they were going to troll me. They had said a couple things and I thought they were, because that's the thing with the internet, on Facebook or wherever in a comment section, it's a little different because you're behind a keyboard, people, there's a lot of people out there they just want to hurt you because they think it's funny, any kind of attention that people can get from you. And if you fight back, it just feeds them, and being on camera, I mean, this is different because I can see all of you and I'm scared to death, but I'm not used to seeing my audience, I'm used to having 100 people watching me and I just see names,
In a sense, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, it's easier, but also you have to work unless you're just naturally able to talk to an audience. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
For years I couldn't do even this, talking to 15 people. I couldn't do this, years ago.
Yeah.
But talking to a camera and talking to an audience, even if it's just virtual, where you just see names, the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
And as far as content, talking about something, yeah, it helps if you have something that you can talk about and that you know about. Um, and it's pretty much you kind of have to know your audience as well. So it's not like I'm going to go live in some totally unknown place. I mean, maybe that's how some of you might feel right now, because maybe you've never done this type of thing before. But
Right.
but if you go live and you kind of know who you're talking to, or the people that are around there kind of know like what you're going to talk about, then
Well,
then
and
it's it's easier.
in the gaming community, you know who you're talking with. In a sense, you're talking with fellow gamers, those who might appreciate a specific game, maybe even know you and want to follow you. So there is a starting point. If you're a
Hmm.
musician or any other performer, especially if you're just starting out, that's got to be a lot harder. It's got to be exponentially harder to get started on Twitch, I would imagine.
Well, like if you're playing a game, then you're responding to the game. Like you don't really even have to talk. They're really watching the game and you. But if you're just talking, and I don't have problem talking to people when I see their faces because I sing a lot. But when you don't see their faces and you're just really trying to go back based on what the chat says, to me it's like a whole different experience.
Yeah. Great. Any final uh, thoughts or comments on Twitch before we close this chapter of Twitch? I don't know if we'll ever do a Twitch challenge again. Possibly not. Or if we did it again, it would have to be vastly different in how we structured it. Final thoughts or comments?
I thought it was great. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm still new into Twitch, and I'm gonna dig into it and see how much more I can do, and because the end result is to build your brand. And like I said, I'm mainly on YouTube, but the more I can get into Twitch, the more I can do Instagram lives, TikTok live eventually. Um, I'm just gonna do it, and you just kind of have to want. If you want to build your own brand, you have to get out there and let people know who you are. And there's going to be people that are going to love you. There's going to be people that are going to hate you, and you just have to go with it. You can't let any of it stop you. That's what I have to say, I guess.
Thank you, Johnny. All right, we're going to move into the next segment of our program, and that is to go into resume feedback. Tara has an incredible lineup of workshops she's going to tell you about a little bit later that the students are going to be doing on Wednesdays in preparation for Career Day on December 4th. And we figured we would take advantage of this opportunity to get some basic resume feedback going for people to unearth and get the dust off of their current resumes and get some direct feedback from industry professionals in breakout sessions so that we can see what starting point we are starting from. So I'm going to create these breakout rooms. They're going to be small breakout rooms. We're not going to do what we did last time, which was to just have people be able to go into whatever breakout room they want. But give me just a second and this will be ready to go. Let's see. All right. Okay, I am going to, so I've got 2 industry professionals in each room, maybe 3, and then there's about 3 rooms. I'm going to send you industry professionals to those rooms now. Students are coming in a minute. right, so I just sent 3 students to their breakout rooms. Okay. Shawnee, you are in room 1. Andrew, you are in room 1 too. All right, let me just make sure that I have, 2 students and 2 industry professionals in room 1. Yep, 2 students and 2 industry professionals in room 2, and 2 and 2 in room 3. Okay, so we're good. Let's put this on.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way.
All right, can you see clearly now? Is the rain gone? All right, great. Well, we are at a few minutes over. I really thank you for staying the extra time. I jumped into one of the sessions, and the mentors didn't mind me contributing to the students' feedback as well. And I can tell you that it was a rich and engaged session. Thank you for providing mentorship to the students today. We will, Tara has a link to a survey we're going to drop in the chat window. As always, we're interested in everyone's feedback on how today went for you. And next week we have the YouTube challenge. So don't forget, students, it's going to be super fun, interesting, and actually it's sort of like a capstone project that actually lifts you up as a professional. So it's tied to how you present yourself and the skills that you've acquired. So we're excited to see you on Monday. Tara, a word about the career and resume building workshops?
Yeah, so this was a super great start to kind of kicking off the workshop series. I learned a lot about resume things, so I appreciate the mentors sharing. So over the next couple weeks, every Wednesday, we'll be hosting a different workshop, and I can share my screen quick so that you guys can kind of see. One second. There we go. So we'll be hosting can you guys see the career day stuff?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we'll be hosting a workshop on the following Wednesdays. The first one will be like a resume review, kind of like today. And then these are smaller workshops. So we'll be able to dive more and have more time into wordsmithing and figuring out your resume and learning about what employers are looking for. And then we'll have a career exploration workshop on finding the right fit. A networking workshop plus cover letters and cold calls / emails or cold DMs on LinkedIn. And December 2nd will be kind of interview prep, physical speaking of we did your resume, but now you're gonna bring it to life. And then December 4th is our career day. So both mentors and students, mentors soon you'll be hearing from us about the career day. We kind of want to have a series of kind of mock interviews and more in-depth resume reviews and more mentorship for students. So we will be looking for volunteers for that session. Then we'll have a bunch of eager students lined up ready to, pitch themselves, sell themselves, and land their dream gig. So there's the bit.ly for if you would like to or I'll drop the bit.ly in the chat if you'd
I
like.
just did.
Oh, thank you.
I already did, no problem. So one last thing I'll say about this, students, sign up in that bit.ly, make sure you have specific jobs. And we already shared with you the Verizon link to career opportunities there. There's like thousands of jobs there, verizon.com/campuses. So whether it's at Verizon or Descript or YouTube, any of these companies, find the specific job that would rock your world. We're going to help you land it. Okay, when we know what that specific job is and what that specific job description looks like, we're going to help you, and your mentors are going to help you finally tune your resume for that specific opportunity. Now, of course, we can't guarantee that you're going to get a specific job, but we sure as heck can help you get darn close. Okay, so that's the goal. Thanks for listening. Sorry for keeping you 7 minutes after. We'll see you again on Monday, and mentors will see you again on Fridays. Thank you.